Hello fellow slugcatters. I wanted to make a video today about improvisational movement. And what I mean by that is the movement in this game that you would actually be able to use in a high stress scenario. I'm not talking about any sort of flying techniques, just good easy movement for like a casual or maybe a higher level player, I don't know. And I am aware that the fantastical Google document of Rain World Movement Tech, which is linked in the description, mentions basic applications, but I barely read them. This is my opinion of applications, so it's original. I'm not stealing it, sorry. Okay, this tutorial assumes that you've have played at least 5 minutes of Rain World, so you know how to play a keyboard? Good. I also made this very organized skill tree, so I could divide this video into parts. I originally had all this planned for one video, but this has taken me much longer for me to edit than I thought it would, and I'm turning it into a series. Okay, that was all the boring stuff. Part 1 died. Alright, very beginning basics. Literally, like a slug pup fetus could do these. We're going to be starting off with ground movement. Very simple beginning concepts, and it has an extremely large skill ceiling later on. Walking, surprisingly important, and then crouching and crawling because they're kind of the same thing. Alright, to enter a crouch state, you only need to press the down button once. I emphasize once, because once you are pressed it, you are in a crouch state. And then crawling is literally walking, but while you are crouched. Alright, I will quickly go over jumping because it involves something I want to cover in this video, but more advanced jumping like flips and coyote jumps will be covered in a later video. Alright, jumping! If you hold your jump button, you go really high, and if you tap it, then you won't go anywhere at all. That's basically it. Alright, you know how to jump, and you know how to crouch. Now we can combine that into a pounce. I guess it's also kind of a charge jump, if you will. Alright, for a pounce, you will enter a crouch state, and you will point the direction you want to pounce in, and then you will hold your jump button until your character's butt pops up. Once his butt pops up, you can then release. Also, I just want to point out that during some movements, your character will technically be in a prone or crawling position. A pounce is one of these. And during the pounce, you are able to stand up while in the air, which allows you to get more height out of the pounce. So instead of just flying head first, you instead fly with your body first, basically, and it allows you to reach like a wall that's too high, for example. This can be done during any movement that sends you in a head first crawling position, and it is quite useful. Also, during a pounce, you are able to get quite close to the edge of the ledge, and that also helps you get extra distance, but be careful so you don't fall off. Alright, now going back and stemming from walking, we'll talk about quick turning and turn hopping. After going a direction for about a second, and then canceling that movement by going the other direction without stopping, your character will do this little juke movement, increasing their speed for a short amount of time. Turn hopping is done during a quick turn, and as the peak of your quick turn is initiated, where your slugcat has the most speed, you can hit jump and your character will carry the momentum as you jump. Alright, you know how to walk, and you know how to crouch. So we're going to move on to something a bit more difficult, and that is sliding. To perform a slide maneuver, you must press jump and down at the same time while holding a direction. The direction needs to be held throughout the duration of the slide, so make sure that you can press the direction and basically do it from stationary, but as long as you hold that direction throughout the whole duration of the slide, it will perform a full slide opposed to a half slide. Alright, getting even more difficult from sliding, we have the slide hop. To perform a slide hop, you have to hit the jump button at a specific point during the slide. Alright, I'm going to throw in a bit of a wild card. We're going to do rolling now, because flip you. To roll, literally just hold down and the direction you want to roll in, as long as it's under the sufficient circumstances. I say that because there are multiple. For example, this clip is using rolling from a fall. Roll pouncing is similar to slide pouncing, or what I call slide hopping, as you need to hit jump during the roll. Except for this, the longer you roll, the further your pounce will go. Alright, now we are finishing up the crawling section, going on to crawl turns. While your crouch, just hit left or right and your character will violently slam their head to the floor. I won't go super in depth on this one because it is kind of difficult to pull off. I learned it for this video and I only was able to pull it off about once, but it can be used in specific scenarios just to reach a higher height. Basically, when you're turning, you get a little bit of vertical height from it, and the game allows you to jump after you get that little bit of vertical height, so it basically allows you to extend your jump by a little bit. It's kind of difficult. I'm not going to explain it super hard. I'm just letting you know that you are able to do it. Alright, for a crawl, turn, roll, you're going to flip once, and then you're going to flip again in quick succession, and on the second flip, you're just going to hold the roll inputs, and then you'll go into a roll. That's basically it. Alrighty, this is the end of everything I wanted to teach. So now I will show a couple of combinations, maybe get your brain flowing of how some of these moves could combine into each other. First example is a slide pounce into a roll. Extremely good for traveling large flat distances at a very quick rate. Next is just taking that slide pounce into roll and combining that into a roll pounce as well. Alrighty, this marks the end of the video. This is everything that we learned today, and I plan on making probably another video or two about the rest of this, and maybe if people want it, I'll stem into character-specific movement or swimming movement. But I think this game's movement system and skill system in general is just very underappreciated, and I think it's one of the best that a game has ever done, because it's not like there's points in it, you need to unlock it in your own brain, which I think is amazing. This game's awesome. Thanks for watching.